to all? I have shared Jupyter notebook screen. It is
Yes,
visible to
sir.
all.
It is visible.
Okay, so into the KNN, what we have seen, we have implemented or we have seen a problem that is following by the height and weight features. So based on these two features, we need to predict the size of a customer. So that problem I'm just trying to implement over here, and you will see what are the various steps by which we need to understand. And listen each and every step properly. Whenever you have any doubt, then you can ask me. So we are going to implement the KNN algorithm, that is stands for the K nearest neighbor. And experiment name I'm giving over here, that is to predict and classify the t-shirt size of a customer based on his or her height and weight features. So the author definitely will be myself. So first I'm going to explain this cell that is required to import the some libraries. So we are importing the NumPy libraries, that is a NP. So you want to update this NP as according to you because it is user defined variable or aliasing variable, I can say. I am importing the matplotlib library. Okay, so because I need to plot the some graph, then I need to use this library. That is my point. And we need to import some data set. So I have just created the entire information, height and weight, and its t-shirt size into the Excel and just transform into the CSV. And I am importing that file into the our program to learn that is how to import. So as we know how to import any data set in form of the CSV format, only pandas is better tool. And we need to compute the classification accuracy of the logistic regression or other kind of the model. So what we have, when see, I'm not specifying this any kind of the model right now. Just I'm just writing only the so compute classification accuracy. So what we have to use this matrix. And after understanding this point, let me execute this code in between. After understanding this point, what we have, what is the point over here? You can observe over here. We are reading the data set for KNN problem. Okay, not especially KNN problem because at the last I have compared the this data set with the help of the various model following by the classification of code. But right now I am using this data set for the KNN, so we need to understand the KNN problem right now. So data set I am using and I'm just reading information and that is to be stored into the this data set. When I'm trying to display this information, then you will be able to see what does contain by this data set, that is following by the height and weight and t-shirt size. You can observe over here the same values as we have seen into the numerical part of the Canon. So I'm taking the same values. I did not change anything over here. I'm using the same values as we have seen the our numerical part of the Canon. Just let me know once again these two cells information, that is the one is importing the library, other one is reading data set. Is it clear? Is it clear? Any doubt in this in these two cells code? Yes, tell me right now. You have any doubt? Please tell me.
No, sir.
Okay. So what we are doing here, we are I can write over here. We are uh, getting we are getting the data for independent and dependent dependent variables. As we know, x is our independent variable, so no need to describe over here independent variable. Of course, independent again your two important part. One is the height and weight, as I told you. Okay, and this is what, as we know, y belong to the dependent variable. So no need to describe more and more detail over here. But as we know, what is contained by this information? Of course, it will contain the t-shirt size according to the our data set. Okay, so if I'm using this one and I need to display all the information by the x and y, so I hope you will be able to see the information. Now, after getting the information, now I'm going to display the x value. It contains the height. You can observe over here, and by contain the t-shirt size, so it just represented by the m and mm value. So that is a mid and large value. So you can observe over here. Now, these two information is visible to all right now. Tell me, these two information is these all the details are clear to all. How we are getting the data set, how we are reading the data set. So
Yes,
this
sir.
All these steps are known as the reading the data set. Okay, so this step is clear to all right now. Tell me, this step is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this was our first step as according to our need. This is step one, that is reading the data set for the Canon problem. And after getting this problem, after splitting our information into the predicted information or target information, or we can say the independent variable or dependent variable. Here I am showing some information over here by the help of the my graph. That is what we are doing. Here we are just trying to display information by a graph. Okay, that is by a graph for t-shirt size. Okay, t-shirt size. So definitely it contains the two important values m or l. So if I'm using the C1 is what that is used for the C. I can write over here for betterment, then you can understand. See, bor itself a graph library, as we have discussed into our previous practical part. So I'm writing once again our library. Okay. So with help of this point, we have using the count function, count plotting. So this is what we have the count plot. So count plot plot uh, is a plot method. I can write over here plotting method. Actually, is plotting method to display information in terms of counting way. So this graph will show how many we are not displaying this information, but just we are able to understand what is the value of the m. So how many values of the m belong to the l values. So just let me execute this code, and then you will be able to understand. See, after the few minutes, this information will be executed. So now this graph will be showing this information. The total number of the l values we have more than the 10. Okay, and the values of the m will lie between the 6 to 8, so it can be have 7. You can just count right now. So m will contain 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and l will contain the 11. Okay, so this is another graph. So we have so many graphs in the Python library by which we can display. So this is the graph I'm showing to all for your helping purpose, but it was not required, but I'm showing here for your helping purpose. You can use this kind of the graph anywhere. Okay, so now this graph is clear to all right now. Tell me, this graph is clear?
Yes, sir.
See, it was an option, but I'm just need to show for your betterment so that you can understand more about the graph functionality. Before telling to all these points over here, now I can write some words over here, then you understand. As we know that our t-shirt size values are non-integer. Okay, that is a point we need to keep in mind, non-integer. And if need to we need to perform some calculation as per need. So we have to transform the non-integer values. Okay, so what we are using, the library that is known as the level encoder. So we are importing the level encoder, and see, with help of the, actually what we are doing, we are using the level encoder concept, and this will transform, or this will encode. Yes, I can write over here, then you can understand. This will encode your non-integer values into integer value. This is the my point. Okay, so integer value. So this is the beauty of the level encoder part. So we need to import the level encoders, and this contained to the sklearn library. And what is the method? That is the preprocessor. Okay, So if we can use directly, or we can put the like from sklearn dot label encoder. Okay, so you can use this idea or this approach, or you can use the actually you need to use the pre-processing class by using the label encoder method. So that is the important point we need to keep in mind. Or what we can do, we can write. See, we can write like this method from sklearn dot pre-processing import. This is another way, import label encoder. Okay, in the label encoder, there will be the E should be capital encoder. So you can write these two statements like this one. It's up to you how you're writing. Okay, so it's up to you how you can writing. So because it is written over the import library, so import label encoder, but we have not mentioned over here. We are actually directly we are using this one. So it's up to you how you are using. It's up to you. So after this activity, we are pre-processing with the help of the pre-processing class and following by the label encoder method. The our information will be converted into the our information will be converted into the some values, and that value is identified by the 01 format. Okay, so I'm taking only the information 01 format, so it will automatically transform your information into 01 format. Just let me show over here. So Ali is the which Ali is the object name, that is a Ali is the object name. So I can write it over here. So Ali is an object. Okay, that is the point we need to keep in mind of label encoder class. That is the point we need to and label name. Sorry, it's pre-processing. Yes, yes. It is an object of the pre-process. Yes, this label encoder. Label encoder. It is written over label encoder. And after that we need to convert, you can understand, convert string label into the number. So we are using this approach, and if it need to transform, see the point we need to keep in mind, this method, this fit underscore transform method, we are passing the what we are passing the t-shirt size values. Okay, t-shirt size value. So what is the value contained by the M or L? So what the value we are having by the M and L? So it contains only M and L. So it just transform its value into the respective form. It could be 0 in form. So first value it will represent, that is the 1 that belong to the M, and second value represented by 0. It means L. So by it contain the actual value. So I need to transform and I need to replace. I need to what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here. What I'm doing here. See, we are replacing y actual values into 0 and 1. Okay, so that is the point, because the arithmetic operation can be performed on the integer value only, so we need to convert. So that's what I'm doing over here. So let me execute this code. After executing this code, you can able to understand first 7 values belong to the M, that is the transform into the M1 only, and next values belong to the L, so it is transformed to the 1. So what you can observe over here, it display your information in form of the 1 means 1 means M, and 0 means we have the L, so we have transform. So that is the point we need to keep in mind. So now what is the value to be held by this y variable? So now variable will contain now, so now y variable will contain in information in 0 and 1. Okay, so now that is the point we are getting over here. Same thing you have to apply into the linear regression as I have given to the lab activity. So this is the approach you have to apply. Okay, so no problem, but here we are understanding. Okay, so that's why for your betterment, I just transform that part into over here. But with the help of that part, we can use. But right now we are not going through that part. So I'm just using this approach for your experience purpose. So I need to transform some information here for a betterment. So this would be possible. Now, is it clear right now? Tell me, is it clear to how we are transforming your information to 01 format? You can do. Now, is it clear? So whenever you need to transform your
Yes, sir.
string information into the number form, you can use the label encoder. Label encoder, as the name suggests, to encode your label. So what is the label? That is output. So our output will encode the 0 1 format. Okay, that is an M or L format. So now we are transforming or we are encoding our output into the 0 1 format instead of the M or L. That is my point. Here, the interesting point over here, I have just used this point over here. Before that, I will tell you how we are doing this activity, but uh, just here I'm just what I'm doing. That in between, let me write over here. We are displaying, we are displaying our data points, data points. I can say our all data points in a graph to know where these points, these data points are lying. Okay, so from this point we can understand. So for this point, first I'm just transforming. See, before explaining this idea, I'm just transforming. I'm importing a library that is known as for this. Yes, I can write over here. For this, we are importing importing KNN library. I can write in short way. You can understand KNN library because 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 our information must be fit to the KNN. So that's why I'm just importing first. So how I can import from the sklearn neighbor. So this neighbor is our name of the library. And when we need to import the linear regression, then we have to import the linear model, and the logical regression we have to import the linear model class. That is a point we need to keep in mind. When talking about the SVM, then SVM is the name of the class we need to import. Okay, so SVM is the name of the method, logical regression is method, and linear regression is also method. So here we have an important term we need to keep in mind. We need to import the K neighbors classifier. K neighbor classifier. This is the point. So I can write over here what we have over here. Uh, we have to import and neighbors neighbors class, okay, and use method. Okay, so use this method. And after using this method, what we are getting or what we are observing over here, we need to create an object that is a KNN. You can give the any name. So I'm putting over a KNN. So KNN classifier, and I need to pass the its size, that is a one. Okay, so I'm passing the first one, that is a one. I can pass the any case value that could be 1 to 3. But here I'm assuming over here, I'm not doing anything over here. I'm just displaying the actual information that is to be handled by the entire data set only. So I'm just by default, I'm taking the value only one. Okay, so because it has only one neighbor. So I can put the zero as well, I can put any other values, but I'm taking only the one for understanding purpose only. And now model is my fit to the XY. So what is XY? So say fit to the actual values. Okay, so why I'm putting the actual values, and no need to fit towards the training data. As I told you, training data set is not required here as per the Canon algorithm. So no, I'm not using training data. I'm just using only the actual data, pura actual data, full data without any problem. Okay, so I'm taking here this one. After this point, I'm using this code. See, this code is very big code, which displays the entire detail over here. So what I'm doing right now over here, just let me give you some price point over here. I'm display the listed color map graph, and which display your information into the two part, that is to display your information to the actual graph base. So you will feel look like a good pattern. So Here we have the max method. Okay, we have the counter to we have the contour f. That is a that is a method that is required to give the your information to the from the graph pattern. So we are using the contour f graph. Okay, this is the point we need to keep in mind. What is the kind of the graph we are using? We are using the listed color map. This method we will use to render the color to the graph to the our graph name is the contour f. Okay, so with the help of this object, we need to do everything over here. And for this, your information must be in 0, 1 form. That's why I transfer my information M and L into the 0, 1 format. And now see, this is point. And after executing this code, it will take some time. So before explaining each and everything, I have just executed this code previously. So now you can able to understand with this graph, 0 belong to the 0 belong to the, just let me know what is mean by 0. 0 belong to the L, okay, and belong to the 1. So this belong to the weight and this belong to the height. Respectively, height and weight, our information from the only from the t-shirt size will displaying over here. So we are having this kind of information. From this pattern, if we're putting the new data point at any random position, and from that point, I need to predict is this belong to the mid-size t-shirt or lower size L size t-shirt. That is the point we need to keep in mind. So this is the graph activity I'm showing over here because it looks like the better for understanding. So that's why I'm just explaining this idea. Now, this point is clear right now. Tell me, because I'm not going to detail manner of this code because it has a various activity. So it is not required to explain each. But listed color map, you need to pass the yellow color or pink color. So I am choosing these two colors. If you want to use different color, then you can use any other color. It's up to you. Right now, tell me. Yes, now tell me. Yes, tell me. This graph is clear how the information is displaying. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 belong to the green dotted part that belong to the M size. As I told you, M value we have the 7 and L we have the 13. So you can see each and everything properly. So now it is classified the property right now. We can easily see which belong to the which part. Now tell me, this graph is clear?
So the graph is clear. Can you explain that coding part, or you can show that?
Okay, I can explain simple way you can understand what I'm doing right now. In the listed color map, we have a method. With the help of this method, this contains the colors, and especially this method used to map the color to your graph. So here we have the two colors I'm passing over here, yellow and pink. So before that, what I need to do, I need to set the x values and y values over here. So what is the x value contain? X value contain the two values that contains the height and weight. Okay, it may have one value, no problem, but right now it contains the two values, and with respect to height and weight we need to display our information following by the by. So I'm assigning this by value to the by set variable. You can change any other variable, it's up to you. Here I'm taking the two values x1 and x2. So from this point, what I'm doing, I'm just making the internally max grid in the max grid. So I mean the max grid, I'm using the NP libraries. With the help of the NumPy library, I'm arranging the start position and of the x test. So x test basically it contains the information in the array manner. How you can see the in array manner? You can observe over here. See, X contains all the details over here in the array manner. You can observe over here. So it contains the array base information, and same thing when talking about the by also contain the information from the array manner. So definitely I can use, see this is a syntax, so we need have to use. In the mass grid method, we need to pass in the and this mass grid method basically is part of the and NumPy library. And in this point, our information that is to be followed by the height and weight is to be that is represent some information into the x1 x2 where the information to be plotted in form the green or red color. That is my point. So here we are using a starting point that is to be started by the x set. What value we have started and what value you need to read, that is the first value that belong to your height. You can again observe over here, this belong to the height. Okay, so from index value 0. And now one value which contains the value part which belong to the one that contain the weight. So how many values inform the independent we have respectively, we need to arrange all the data points properly. So this code is again saying this one. And now what is the last value you want to take? So first value you are choosing as a minimum. So from this set and from the height weight, we will choose a minimum value that would be your start value. And what is your minimum value? The minimum value will be your x test 0, and that is maximum value. So it contains the two information, one is start value and minimum value, maximum value, and that is following by the start and stop. And we need to step 0.0. It's up to you. If you want to represent your graph in a specific way, it's up to you. You can move your step 1 to 3. So your graph will display information like this one. So it's optional. If you want to use the step, it's up to you. See, it is a this fundamental part when we try to represent information in the loop way or any other way. So it's optional part. If you want to use a step, step means we are jumping some values from that is pulling by the 0.01. If I'm using the step 5 and 6, so definitely the my information that is to be represented will be the jumping by the 5 or 6. It's up to you. So it's very negligible part. If you want to use, then you can use this option. So step is the optional part. And same thing, we need to go through the other part of the that is belong to the weight. So this is belong to the weight part, same as it is. And from this point, what we have the counter F plot. See, this is the counter. This is not the counter F. So this graph just display your information to different part, and this is especially used when we try to understand information properly. See, and this is the advanced graph, and for this, it is provided to you are required to import C1 library. So this is the point we need to keep in mind. And here we are passing the values, all those values which are stored into the x1, x2. So it contains some values x1 and x2. Here we have, and with the help of the KNN prediction. So in we have with the help of the KNN, that is KNN is what our object of the k nearest library. With respect to that part, we need to predict some values over here, and what is the value that is to be we need to pass over here. And this is a very long syntax I'm telling here, but please listen here. With the help of the NP array method. So what we are doing right now, we are making our information that is, see, in the prediction you need to pass the for the prediction you need to pass the your information form of the array method. Just let me remind you over here. Just I can write over here, and it will uh, you are see you are required to pass uh, 2D manner values into predict method. See, it is a point we need to keep in mind. We can't pass the 1D array. We need to pass the information to the form of 2D manner. So that's why we are using this value. So the rival is basically rival is a method. See, rival is a method. It grabs the information from the variable and transform into the its respectively as it desired. And after understanding this point, it keeps the information into the specific way. That is rival is a method. That is important method. And we need to t is what? T is basically this t showing that we are transforming these values into the form of the array. Okay, so this t basically you specially use for the transforming information. So what we have in the x y, in the x we what we have information, and next to what we have information, that is to be transform. And again we are reshaping. Reshape is a method with respect to x1 set. And from this point we need to pass the some alpha value. This alpha value basically used for the your color transparency. So if I'm changing some values of the alpha here, so my color may be the more transparent. So that is, it's up to you what value you want to use. So standard value we can always use 30 to 70 80%. But if you want to use the alpha value just like 1, you can use. So it just represents your information from the transparency, like just like this one. See here. So how much transparency you required in your graph, that is the point. So you can use the alpha. So this is the alpha and this is the point. C map stands for the color map. This is a variable name. So that is the parameter you need to pass. And what is the color parameter you want to pass? So from the listed color map method, we are using the yellow and pink. In front of you, I'm saying changing some values over here. Then you can easily understand. I'm taking the 50, and instead of the yellow, I can take the uh, green or white, I must take the some different. Just like suppose I'm taking the green. I hope. But first one values belong to the green, so no, it's okay. We can manage. And we are plotting the we are plotting here. Let me write over here. X limit. X limit is a function from we need to pass the with value that is x minimum. So what is the value of the x minimum? It will store over here. That is the point we need to keep in mind. X minimum, Y minimum is a function that is to be used to display your information 158 to see it is used page used for the labeling 158 to 170. So I can write over here. See, this is okay. I can write here. This is used for uh, axis. I can say this is axis labels, not labels. This is axis uh, data values. I'm not remember it right now. What is the value? But that is I can say the axis data value. So what is data values? We have the 158 that is the minimum value and 170 is the maximum value. Same thing, we can go the by limit. So what is the by limitation? We need to define the by limit. So that is a by base. So what is the minimum value it contains? 58. And what is the maximum value it contains? That is 68. And after this point, with the help of the with the help of the loop, we need to plot some values by the help of the scatter graph. And here we need to pass some values over here, following by the this. So this is the point we need to keep in mind. This is standard equations. This is standard values we have to use. We can't change anything over here in the graph. So each and every graph in the Python, we have the huge number of the library. We have not having limited graph with a huge number of the graph. And title you can observe over here the VSK can example. Weight we have the weight we have this one tag and height we have this label. So I'm given the X label and Y label and legend. See legend I'm not using. Then the 0 1 which are displaying over here in forms of small square, it will not display. So legend is basically showing over here at what position you want to use. So in the legend, if I'm saying the north, so it will come to the north side. If I'm saying the south, then it will come to the south side. So if you are not using anything, so it just automatically adjusts where the plot, where the information is not able to lose. So where we have the information, then it will move to the specific position. That is my point. And according to the my board 7, trying to update this code again, that we execute, and it will take some time because we have the so many functions, so many methods over here. Mass period is an example of the NumPy library, and counterf is a function of is a method for displaying your graph in form of the counterf. And we have the scatter graph to plot the our information. See, let me clear this point. Counterf, what is counterf is doing? Counterf is just dividing your data into a specific way and following by the color. Then you can easily understand what is the happening over here. But if I'm just plotting over here, then I cannot easily distinguish. How I cannot distinguish? Because each and everything is plotting over here. That is a problem. Just it will take some time. That is a my point. So okay, see we have this point. Right? Tell me at any point you are not able to understand from this part. Just tell me.
Understood, sir.
Because uh, we have to understand the some fundamental part of the data analysis part. But this is the example of data analysis. So I have taken as it is over here because I know what does it mean by the each and everything. So it will take so many times. Why it is taking so many times? Because it is executing each and everything properly, and now it is finding some function, some method inside it. In between, let us understand the some important point over here. Now, what is our responsibility from here? Now, what we are doing. So, is this step is saying to we need to build KNN model. So, with the help of this model, how to build the KNN model? So, from sklearn neighbors from the yes, now they display. Okay, so now it is displaying. I change the color, so that is a green color. We have this one. See, counter. We are getting the counter f function. See, it is dividing your data into properly, so you can able to understand. And the data is plotting by the scatter method. So we have the scatter graph. So values of are plotting with the help of the scatter graph only. But right now, after this point, let me explain how to build the Canon model. So now it's time to build the Canon model from the SKNN library, and we need to import. Now see, Canon neighbor, we have already imported, but I'm again explaining over here. And now we are creating the object. Now here I'm doing something over here. What I'm passing over here, I'm not using testing data, training data. I'm using actual data to fit the my model. So you can observe over here. I'm passing the matrix equilibrium, so I need to calculate the distance of the equilibrium matter. But if you want to use Minsky or Manhattan, so you can pass those parameters, just like Minsky or Manhattan. But right now we have seen the anything with the help of the equilibrium in our example. So I'm taking same example. So here what I'm doing right now, creating Canon object to Canon sorry for classify for Canon classify. And what I'm doing right now, I'm fitting the my model. So with this point, you can understand what I'm doing, fitting the model. And after fitting the model, now let me predict the value, predict the value. So if I'm doing predicting something over here, so what value I'm getting over here? Just let me check this part. So how to predict the my model? So I can predict my model will have the this part. Now in this prediction, I need to pass the testing values, but we don't have any testing values, so we are passing the actual value of the x. So I'm passing the same as it is value, and by this point, I'm just explain the explain the accuracy. Okay. And after executing this code, when we have the newer value 1, so let us check what the accuracy I'm getting. I'm getting the accuracy 100%. Same thing I've just copied over here, but what I've changed is over here. I'm just do some amendment over here. That is the 3. But keep in mind that in the accuracy, we need to pass the actual values and by prediction. So by prediction, we have done by the predict method. And same thing, we are going through the 3 value, we are getting the 1. If I'm updating the n values or nearest neighbor values, case value, that is 5, so I'm getting the 88%. If I'm doing some amendment over here with help of the 7 case value, so I'm getting the accuracy 94. So now accuracy is increasing. Again, I'm increasing the value of the 9. So I'm again going down the its accuracy. That is my point. So that is my point we need to keep in mind. So now this point is clear right now. How to calculate your accuracy from a model, but we have not predicted anything right now. How to build the model? So this model is saying to us if it's changing the case values of what the accuracy you are having. To understand this concept, I have the simple code over here. First, let me calculate the shape of the actual values of the x and y. So actual values we have the 18, and it contains the independent variable contain the it is we can say the we have the 18y2, okay, and y we have the 18 by 1. It's saying to us the x is a feature matrix which contains the 18 into 2 dimension, and y is our response vector, or we can say the response variable. For your betterment, you can understand it's also known as target variable, okay, and it's also known as a dependent variable. So what is shape of this one? So we are getting the its shape, that is the 18. So total number of the information for the rows we have the 18. It is better idea to I need to pass the its values over here. See, I'm passing its range, okay. For your more simplification, I can yes, yes. What is the key range? Total number of the we have the total number of the variable. We have the 18. Total number of the rows we have the 18. So I'm passing the value range values over 1 comma 18, and this variable I can call over here, or I can directly write range 1 comma 18. Okay, it's up to you. What you want to? It's up to you. And after this point, suppose I'm removing this point unnecessary, and all the information that is to be stored into the Python dictionary using this point. So we are going to use a do from 1 to 18 right now, and it append the scores value. So what is score? That is the accuracy score. Same thing I'm going to over here instead of the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 I'm passing the case value. Also our loop will go for the 18 times as per our total number of the information contained by the actual values on the data set, and we are fitting the model and we are predicting something over here and we are trying to predict something here with the help of the accuracy base. And now at the last I'm printing the accuracy, and it will contain, and it contains list of the accuracy from 1 to 18 based on features. Okay, that is one. If I'm executing this code, then you will able to understand how we are getting. See, if I'm choosing k equal to 1, so this is my accuracy. If I'm choosing k equal to 2, so this is my accuracy. And respectively, we have the accuracy of the 18 values. So rather than calculating the k equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it is better idea to we can use this code. And by this code, you can observe over here when we have the k equal to 2, or when we have the k equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At this, these are the two movements when we are getting the accuracy in form of the better way. So what is contained? Okay, just let me over here. It shows that k equal to k equal to 2 and k equal to 7. We have highest, or we can say the good or best accuracy. Not good, we can say the best accuracy. Best accuracy. So what is your optimum value of the k? Definitely it would be k will be 2 and 7. So optimum value of the k will be the 2 and 7. So this is the point we need to keep in mind. From this point, when we have the k equal to values 2 or 7, right now I'm taking 7. Now I'm fitting my model as per my prediction. So no need to again fit my model, but I need to fit my model. Why? Because right now I'm not training I'm not using right now training data or testing data. I'm fitting my model once again by using the total number of the k, that is the 7. From this respectively, what is my question? In my question, I need to calculate the t-shirt size of the customer who have the height 161 and 61 is weight of the customer. Based on this parameter, I need to calculate. If I'm calculating again this point, this code, then you will be able to understand. We are predicting that is 1. This 1 is showing that my information that is falling by the customer, we are having the customer size that is M. That is my point. And what is the prediction probability of this is showing? Okay, I can write it again. This is showing the below code is showing the probability prediction, prediction probability based on based on based on new input data. So if you're putting something that is new, if you want to measure the what is the prediction probability of features based on new input data of the features, okay. So those are the height and weight. Suppose I'm putting the height 161 and weight is 61, so I'm getting its probability 41. But we have the weight, so weight is providing the better accuracy, better probability by which we are having the correct result. Let me change something in front of you, then let us check once again. If I'm choosing 140 to 56, I'm getting the weight over here just like the 34, and I'm just need to get its prediction probability. Let me check. Okay, so 30, 30, 34, and let us check this code once again. Now, see, 34 is very minimum values, so we are having the probability 0. But based on the sorry, this one is not correct. Let me correct this. 156 is the my height. Based on we have the very smallest or little bit probability, but based on this weight probability, we are getting this result. So that is my point. You can update anything over here. Just I'm doing in front of you again another value just like 96. I'm taking here. I'm taking the weight 90, and let us check this code once again and see what value we are getting. At the time, what we are getting the 0. So 0 is going to the person required the L size because he has a very height is very good manner, but weight is 94. So this is the prediction we are getting over here. This is my point right now. So what is the prediction we are getting over here? That is by help of the our output. So this is the I'm just again going to the my code, that is the 161 we are expecting, and we were this one, and from this point I'm going 61 and then move into the 61 button again, and let me input this code. Getting this one. So this is the known as a classification. You are predicting something with the classification. Right now, tell me the code is clear. This is the simplest code I am taking right now. Just tell me.
Yes, sir, clear.
So what you
Yes,
need to do?
sir.
What you need to do? You need to just use only the. You just need